Katrina here and Tim Gillette.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. You know Tim. we started this new show and we're kind of really excited. This is kind of our second day, and I apologize for my background because my laptop wasn't working so well, and normally I have this really nice background, so it's kind of a little jumbled. So it is what it is.
Wait, Katrina, you're not perfect?
Well, almost.
This whole time, I thought you were perfect. You're letting me down.
Pretty damn close, but we're getting there. Little work in perfect progress. How's that?
Yeah.
So this is our second show. I'm really excited because Tim and I are going to bring you all kinds of different topics, whether they be business or personal, or, hey, we're just here to jive and talk and see how you guys are doing out there. And I have the first thing that I want to put out to our audience is, what nicknames did you have as a kid?
Oh, no. Oh, we're going to go here?
Yes, we are.
Oh, man. You don't want to know what they called me as a kid. Come on.
Well, I got a really good one that my mom used to call me, especially when she was mad at me.
Oh, she didn't use your, wait a minute. She didn't use your full name with the middle initial?
No. Well, she did, but this was the one that she used to call me all the time, especially when I was a smart ass.
When you were a smart ass?
I was a smart ass. I'm just saying. I know I'm perfect, but I was a smart ass when I was a kid. I'm very, very angelic now. I've got my... So what was yours, Tim? What was yours?
Well, at school, I was called Toothpick.
Toothpick?
Yeah. You can't imagine that, can you?
No, can't. Not even. Oh, you're not even going to guess what I was called when I was in school, because I had ears that I wasn't grown into yet. So they called me Dumbo and would ask me when I was going to fly south for the winter.
That would have been the first time I grew my hair long right there. I would have solved that problem. Of course, if I didn't grow my hair long, they would have said, hey, the drug addict rock star's here.
Trust me, I did, but my hair was so fine in those days, my ears stuck out. So no matter how well it didn't work. It just didn't work.
Wait. There's a solution for that, Katrina. It's called Afro.
Yeah, right. In a wig, because my hair was very fine and very straight. I had no Afro to be.
No. You get, what do they call them? A perm. You get a perm and they get like, poof. Yeah.
I did that. Actually, I did do that to hide them.
No, the first girlfriend I had in Texas, she had red hair, real red hair, but it was dyed. It was not her natural color. But when her hair grew out, it was an afro. It was a poofy afro. And I thought she looked great, but one day she just got sick of it and she cut it short like my hair is now. Yeah.
I'm just saying that was just one name, and that wasn't necessarily a nickname. That was a mean name, because I was picked on a lot when I was a kid. I was bullied.
Yeah, they bullied me too.
It's so mean, huh? But you know what? It made us strong. Now I'm at that point where, bring it on, brother. I can handle it.
Oh, they won't bully me now. Okay, for me. I kind of grew up in the era, and in the neighborhood of the part of the world, shall we say, where, do you remember the movie The Irishman that came out a few years ago?
Oh yeah.
That man that movie was based on was a friend of my grandfather's.
Really? Very interesting.
Nobody bullies me anymore.
You have Irish in you?
No, I'm not Irish at all.
Not Irish? No.
Yeah, he was good friend. I mean, the guy was a very well-known person in our neighborhoods. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I just now tell people I know the mafia. Capiche?
Yeah.
I had a friend who was in the I literally had a friend that I worked with who her uncle was in the mafia, and she told me, anything you need, anytime you have a problem, you just say the word and I'll make sure it goes away. And I was just
there's a catch to that though. Did you know that?
Oh yeah. So I was like, I'll keep that in my back pocket, and thank you, and I appreciate that, and maybe one day we'll see.
Favors don't come for free.
No, they do not.
and once you get the favor, the payment is never done.
No, It's very painful.
So yeah,
Really.
they will do anything in the world to help you, but once they do,
Yep. And you better be loyal, and you better be there when they need you, and you better just like amazing. So I never took her up on it, but I had that on my back pocket, but I never took her up on it. But nickname. What was your nickname besides the toothpick? What did your mom call you?
My mom called me, just Timothy Andrew. She originally named me because she wanted me to be Tiny Tim.
Oh, and you're anything but
I'm not tiny in any way. I'm just saying.
For those who don't know Tim Gillette, he's a very tall man. He is not tiny by any means or any stretch.
Well, no, I'm skinny, but I ain't tiny. Yeah.
No, he's not tiny. That's pretty funny. Tiny Tim, huh? Did she watch a lot of Christmas Carol?
I guess.
Well, mine, when my sister was little, she couldn't say my name, so my name was TT. And my mom called me shithead. Or dipshit. She'd call me either shithead or dipshit. When I was obnoxious, she'd say, "You're being a dipshit again."
There was a musician, like a Christian musician I listened to when I was in high school, and he had this whole routine in his concerts, like a comedy routine in his concerts. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that thing where they used to play music on stage and we sat in the audience.
Yeah, that one was.
We had them once upon a time. It was an interesting thing that he shared one time, and he said, my mom called me, my mom called me stupid and called my brother idiot. And one day she looked at me and says, "You idiot, get in here." She says, "That's not me, Mom. I'm stupid. Idiot's my brother."
That's the shirt. I'm with idiot.
Yeah, I'm with idiot. Yeah.
I'm with the idiot. Fun stuff.
Mm-hmm,
So I would love to see anybody out there that has nicknames.
Nicknames. Let's see what we have with the comments. And nicknames. People put nicknames in the comments.
Nicknames.
Right.
What are the nicknames out there?
Let's see what Robert has to say. Welcome, Robert, one of our faithful listeners. All right, you want an interview set up by your father. One of the things you will hear is you should see him go all night. Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
So if you're watching this on the replay, all right, put your nicknames down and we will come back to them throughout the week. All right. Nicknames.
Good nickname that the parents called you that you either absolutely hated or your friends called you, whatever.
Put it with hashtag nicknames. That's our hashtag for the week, nicknames.
Hashtag nicknames. I like it.
Yeah. So
yay. So cool. You had a topic you wanted to talk about, sir. I
have a more serious topic than nicknames because it really annoyed me this week.
Do tell.
Like, so I put this thing out on my Facebook page, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday of last week. I can't remember what day I did. And I was just like, I was happy and like, so I said I was happy and I was like proud of myself. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I've got this down to a system. And I just talked about how, I've got it down to, I need 84 speakers a year, 125 podcast guests, and I've got the system down to get them where it's not that hard. And I was just like, wow, it was like an aha moment. It's like, oh my God, 2 years ago, you couldn't even figure out how to organize things. And now you've got this so organized. Oh my gosh. So I put that on my Facebook page and I got 85 people going, oh, me, I want to be a speaker. Me. I want to be in your podcast. Me. I mean, 85 people. And again, I always say that when you create a solution, all right, as soon as you make a solution, you also create about another 10 problems, right? Yeah. So I created problems because I was like, okay, how do I solve this? How do I get, all these people who want to speak at my events, what do I do? I'm like, I know what I'll do. I'll actually just create a thing that they can go put themselves on a list so I can just notify them when I need speakers. Yep. Right. I've had a thing for, a system down for podcast guests for a year now to where basically I don't even touch it or my guests for my Tim Gillette show until I see them on camera. And I created this system and I was like, okay, people go here. And some of the people are like, no, I just want to do it this way. I'm like, it's my event. You're going to do it my way.
Yeah.
And it reminded me though, but not just that, but it made me look at, I see people on Facebook put down like, anybody here want to learn how to write code, write sales copy, create a website. I mean, no matter what the statement is, anybody want to learn how to do that, put yes in the chat. So they put yes. And then you see that same person who put the question down a week later going, 175 of you said yes. How come I'm only helping 2 of you? It's like solution sits right there in front of you. All right. And in a case like ours, like when I'm looking to promote you, and like you don't want to do the simple tasks for me to promote you. And I said, it's almost like me. And it's almost like that story. And I used the story on my other podcast this week of the idea of the two boats and a helicopter, right? And I talked about we just want to sit in our house and go, God will take care of me while I watch TV and not do a damn thing. Yeah.
We have to take action on it, which is one of the biggest problems that everybody goes through, especially with seminars and everything else. And that's the one biggest problem as entrepreneurs that we have is taking the action. We go, we spend the money, we go through the process, and I guarantee you that if all those people came back and they asked, did you take any action on this? What happened? They'd all say, no, didn't do it. Put it up in the cabinet. Just it's still there. I want to one day. I will one day. Action is the biggest thing that really falters us in regards to business.
Well, I mean, what if the action was so simple? I mean, you and I started this podcast. We really didn't sit down, and I see people trying to start podcasts, and they want to do this, and they spend weeks going, well, what microphone do I need? All right, should I get the Zoom X24-91-X1? What's the camera I need? All right, do I need your computer comes with a camera. Get started there. My first podcast, I did it with remember the Apple earbuds that had the speaker in for your iPhone?
I still see people doing that.
Yeah, plugged into my iMac or my MacBook. That's how I did my first podcast for 8 months.
It's just get started.
Yeah.
Just get started.
I didn't even think about it. I just went out and it's like, okay, this is what I have. Let me just do it this way. And then, I mean, I remember the first microphone I bought was that snowball round. Remember that round snowball one? I think I still have it here somewhere.
It was like the big blue, or it was like a
blue snowball.
Blue snowball.
And I used that for years. I mean, I only went to this microphone a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not, and everybody's out there going, well, what's this new high-tech microphone? You spend $5,000 on equipment, and I've had this with blogging, all right? People spend $5,000 on equipment to make $20. I'm like, get a show going and then worry about how you can buy all the fancy stuff.
Yeah. Well, once you get the show going and people start to get the interest, and then you start getting more momentum, and then you start making money on it. Now you have the money to get the equipment.
Yeah. It's like you do you do websites. Like I never paid a designer to do my website until I was, making 30 or 40 grand a year. And then I paid a designer to do my website.
Yeah.
But like my first one was a blog, and I just found a theme that fit me, and I put it up and worked around it until I could afford.
You are not you're not like the rest of them out there. A lot of them out there don't have that tech savvy, where they can't put it together for themselves. So they're having a hard time, and a lot of times they're out there hiring people that.
That's why I created the Kickstart Your Blog program.
Yeah,
so basically you could go do it for free on WordPress.com.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a lot of traffic on WordPress.com like I did 11 years ago, but I did that for 11 years ago, and my first year was still my domain name was rockerlifecoach.wordpress.com.
Yep.
And I owned rockerlifecoach.com. I just didn't know how to implement it, and I couldn't afford to pay someone like you to set it up.
Yeah.
So I just okay. I went in GoDaddy and I just forwarded the website to that domain name. But back then WordPress had all kinds of features on the free side that you can actually get SEO and get stuff like that, and it doesn't have it anymore.
No.
But still, if you did that for 6 months and then came to someone like you with 6 months worth of content on your website, it's probably easy for you to take it off of WordPress.com and just transfer the content, right?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper.
Yeah.
But I mean, and speaking of technology, we're gonna go right into the next topic. Speaking of technology, I don't know if you read this or not. This is one of my ires that gets in my migraine. People a lot of times, their data, they don't back it up. They don't put it in other spots. They just have it on their desktop and that's it. And then they lose everything and then they're screwed. But there was a story in the news about Fujifilm, and they are my hero right now because they got ransomware. They asked them to pay a certain amount of money, but because they backed up all of their stuff, not just a portion of it, but all of it on an off-site, they told the ransomware people where they could take it and shove it, and backed everything up and lost maybe 1 day worth of business, and that was it. Businesses should be learning how to do this, but they don't. They only back up certain portions of their data, thinking, well, this is the only piece we need to worry about. They don't back up everything because it's a lot of money, a lot of hassle. But there's a lot of things out there that are cloud-based that are all over the place. That, I mean, I've got 3 backups. I've got an external drive. I've got my internal drive, and then I also have a backup through an outside source. So that if I had a fire today, I can still work because I could just take a laptop, sign into my outside source, and still work. So every business should be doing that.
So could you set that up for me? Because I only have 2 sources. I have like my Dropbox, and I have iCloud. I have 2 terabytes in each.
Yeah.
But like everything else, like all the stuff I create, like even my shows are stored on Dropbox. I keep all of them in my Dropbox folder, not in a other places. But
it's a suppository that it's specific backup suppository where they have various different backups all over the place too, just in case. And it's not that expensive, and it's called Carbonite.
Carbonite, all right.
Carbonite, and I have it backed up to the point where they have it set up. I can back up all of my external drives as well as my internal drives, and then I can go back in, and if I need to look at something or grab something, it's all there.
And are you doing that for your clients right now? Are you helping set that up for your clients?
No, I tried to in the past, but the problem is a lot of times my clients were, oh, that's like a cost I really don't think I need, or I'd rather not, or I see that stuff come across, but I kind of took it off because it was more of a hassle than it was worth. Or, I mean, it's just like the 2-factor verification when you're going on to your banking and anything else. People are frustrated. Why do I have to do this 2-factor thing? It's such a pain in the ass. Well, if people are taking all of your information and then take your identity on top of it, it's not quite that much of a pain in the ass after that.
Okay.
So
I've only ever once, well, no, I can't say I've ever had my bank account hacked, but I've had like checks stolen. And I mean, back when I had checks, I have checks in a folder for my new business account here, but I don't think I've written 2 of them in the 2 years I've had that account. But I remember having checks stolen, and someone wrote on my business, I had my car wash business, they wrote a check in Louisiana for like $1,000.
Yeah.
And when it went to hit my bank account went in and called the lady called me up, it was a local bank. She called me up and goes, this just doesn't seem right. And I said, no, it's not. And, and then we did an affidavit. I got it pulled. And I think the company, like a year later, the company who got the check and screwed, they called me and go, because my number was on the check. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Stolen check, not my problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, believe it or not, and I know we have electronics and so forth, and we've got all the security in place. It's easier now to hack into accounts now that it's all electronic than it is through a check.
Yeah.
Checks, it's harder to do through paper than it is electronic now because so many people are on electronic and devices and that type of thing. So, I mean, it's just a matter of protecting yourself. And that's one thing that drives me nuts is it's a pain. Okay. Then don't protect your stuff. If it misses and it disappears, and how much of a pain is it now that you have to try? I mean, it takes months and months and months to get that stuff unraveled. Months. So That's my air. And yay, Fujifilm for doing it and telling them to, here's your ransomware and you can take it and shove it. And we're good.
Have you ever had a card like an ATM card or a MasterCard or something like, taken and reproduced and somebody else is using it?
Nope.
We have. We've, of course, then again, my wife and I both travel so much, so it really became an issue. Like, we're who we hand the card to.
Yeah. Well, and you always want to make sure for a longest time, people would get a card back and it didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing too is the only thing we've had problems with is gas cards. So if we go to a gas, to gas up,
mm-hmm.
for some reason, the outside one isn't working. So you have to go in and give it to the attendant.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden now we're finding charges. So that's part of it. That's,
wow.
and that's kind of that's something that you have to kind of watch out for as well. I mean, they're trying to put things in place to help prevent that, but I mean, it is what it is. As long as you're protecting yourself as much as possible, that's all you can do, pretty much.
Yeah. And I've always thought about this, you know what I mean? And now I guess we're hearing a lot more about hacks in the news, but
yeah,
how much we can do to prevent it as business owners, because it is like my whole business is online. Yeah.
Yep. Well, and here's the thing. I don't know if you heard about it. Happens. I think it was 2010, maybe even later than that. It was called the Heartbleed. And it was a Heartbleed virus that got into, I don't know if you remember or not, but Target and I believe it was Macy's and a bunch of other stores where their systems were hacked, their payment systems.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was all thanks to the Heartbleed, because the Heartbleed had been going into the back end and trying to find back end doors. And how they found those back end doors is because employees were not backing things up. They weren't following the security procedures they were supposed to. So they kept going in and digging and finally found the back end door to the main piece that a lot of our businesses and retail use to get payment. And that's where that all came from.
Wow. And
it was all because of human error, because people didn't want to do the backup. They didn't want to follow security. They said, secure this or back. Nah, I'll do that later. I don't have time to do that right now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about, like, over the years, the things I had headaches. I've had, I started writing an idea for a book in 2004. And I had one computer crash, one computer stolen, and then one computer hacked. And then, and after I had the hack one, that's when I learned to do things and I learned to become more aware of what was going on. My last hack that I had in my computer was, I want to say it was like 2011. And I still had a PC. I didn't have a Mac. I went all Mac in 2012. But the hack was caused in 2000. And basically it was somebody on Facebook, like, sent me a message with a link into it. And the link is what made him hack my computer. And it was somebody I knew. And like months ago, we were at an event together. And like the title's like, hey, here's a picture of the both of us at whatever. And like, oh, okay. Because I knew who it was. So I clicked it. And now I learned how to check the links now because of that.
Yeah.
My website, I have everything hosted on HostGator. My website in 2016, maybe it was 16 or 17, was hacked. All right. And that's, that 2018, I totally redid the website again because of it. But like I took everything off and recreated my entire website over. I had now I'm down now to I had like 5 different domains, and because of it, and I had other names on my server that were my daughter's, and I'm trying to think, they were my daughter's web domains and like my wife's web domains and stuff like that. And my daughter never went in and upkept her stuff, so that's how they got in, and then literally one by one infected my server.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
I mean, people say, and I know it's not just Windows. Apple is starting to have problems as well. But I know with Windows, you always have to do the updates, and they do that on purpose because they're the number one that's always hacked. So you have to pay attention to those. And people, I had a client when I went to her house and I was trying to fix her computer. And I said, have you been doing any of your updates? She said, oh, my son told me not to do those because they're not worth it. They're just, said they come out for a reason. They're there because they're there to protect you in your system. In fact, Microsoft has got committees that have put together in regards to online security. They know more than anybody because their systems have been hacked more than anybody. So they know, okay, there's something there. Okay, we're going to fix it. They fix it. They send out an update. And a lot of people say, yeah, I'm not going to do it.
But that is why I update my WordPress. Every WordPress update that comes up, I just update it.
Yeah, and if you don't update that versioning, then you have a higher chance of somebody not only hacking your system, but your computer, your website going down.
Yeah, it's no fun to have your websites go down. I'm just saying.
No, it's not. No, not fun at all.
Yeah.
So on a fun note, I found this really interesting article on the colors and your favorite color and what it represents in your personality. So what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
Wait a minute. You can't tell that?
Well, you wear other colors besides blue.
I do, but blue is my favorite color, yeah.
Well, blue means you're calm, trustworthy, and loyal.
Yeah.
Pretty much fits, don't you think?
Come on, you've known me for what, 5-6 years now?
Yeah, it pretty much fits. Well, and my favorite color is orange, and that means that you're very happy, warm, and friendly.
So for those of you listening today, if you can't tell what our two favorite colors are,
orange and blue. Orange and blue. I'm just saying.
It's probably going to be the colors of our show.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, most likely. So I'm just saying. But there's all these other colors that if you are, I mean, we can go through them if you want, but they're pretty cool list in regards to what your favorite color is and what that says about you. And no, it's not sapphire or sphere. Oh, Robert, you put sphere. It's called sphere. I thought you were saying sapphire. Never mind.
You got to tell us your favorite color, and we'll analyze you in the comments.
Yeah. So now we need to know your nickname and your favorite color.
Yeah, nickname and favorite color this week. Yeah.
And then we'll put out there what the colors represent so that you can now decide, yeah, that's me, or maybe I'm more of this.
You know what we should do for our people who subscribe is that we should get them to subscribe answering these questions we do. And then we next week we do a drawing of the people who subscribe that week.
That's a good idea. I like it.
Wow, all these ideas we come up with live on air.
I know. It's amazing.
I got a notepad here.
Just do it. Amazing. What happens?
This is what happens when you start a show without the whole blueprint. All right, you just create the blueprint as you go.
So hashtag nickname as nickname, and then hashtag favorite color.
Yeah.
And then that's what we want to know, what it is, so that then we can tell you what it's all about. So I have a question for you, Mr. Gillette.
Yeah.
I know a lot of your shows are 60 minutes.
Yeah. No. My Tim Gillette show is 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
And my Simple Easy Marketing podcast is 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
What do you always recommend to those podcasters out there?
If you're doing a solo show,
30 minutes or 60 minutes?
A solo show, 15 minutes. An interview, a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour.
Okay.
Variety show like this, 1 hour.
Okay. And you all heard that out there. So
I just, that's like the variety show idea. It's an hour like this because we can cover several topics. The interview, you can do an hour on the interview. I kind of shorten mine to 45 minutes because I want to leave the people who are watching me interview, if I'm interviewing you, I want to leave them with, they want to know more. And I want them to then go to your website to go find out more about you.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's just and it's not fact. That's just my opinion on that. And to me, I wanted to do a 15-minute personal, because I wanted to be able to give a little bit of information out there. All right. Cover a story, cover some points about the story. All right. And give a call to action, and then get off the air and see what happens with it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So solo, if you're doing solo, it's 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing interview, it's 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Sometimes an hour. If you're doing a variety show, something like this, it's like an hour.
Yep.
And 30-minute was.
Some people can do 30-minute interview shows.
Yeah. Well, I know I was on an interview show where the guy asked me like 3 questions and did it within like 5 minutes. Done.
Really?
Yeah. It was like really, really quick. He did it. I think it was like 5 to 10 minutes, and that was it. And just asked certain questions, like 3 questions, 5 to 10 minutes, and he kept it going. And then, okay, well, thanks for coming, and da-da-da-da-da. That's our show. Until next time, blah, blah, blah. Done. Like, wow, that was a quick interview.
I've seen variety shows. Like, if you remember the old-fashioned TV shows, the variety shows were like 2 to 3 10-minute segments.
Yeah.
All right. Like, you remember like the Johnny Carson show. The show was an hour long. All right. But it was broken up into 10-minute segments. All right. And having a guest was the 2 guests was two of the segments.
True.
All right. And it may have been less because, all right, they have to put commercial breaks in there. All right. And the average TV show back then had 8 minutes per hour of commercial breaks. So,
if not 10, I know, because if you've got cable now, or you've cut the cable and you're not doing commercial at all, and you watch those shows and you think, I thought the show was an hour. You find out it was actually maybe 35 to 45 minutes long. Mm-hmm. The rest of it was commercial time.
Yeah.
That's how many commercials we watched.
Oh, wait a minute. All right. Here's my question to you. Are you judging commercials nowadays?
I don't really watch commercials because we cut the cord a long time ago. Mm. And so we don't have cable. We haven't had cable for a long time. I mean, we were the ones that were, okay, so what can we watch? Where can we get it? Because we're not paying this astronomical amount to watch and sit there and go click, 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 click. There's nothing on. There's only 1,000 channels and there's nothing on.
No, I've got satellite dish, and with satellite, we record shows and then we go back and watch them later.
Well, and that's what a lot of the cutting the cord was about. Is it was all the recordings that people out there had done, and that's all you were watching is a lot of the recordings. And now, of course, because so many people have cut the cord, now you've got Disney, you've got Paramount, you've got Hulu, you've got what are the other ones out there? Crackle, a bunch of other ones now that are going to start to charge on a regular basis if you want to watch their content. And Disney's content used to be on Hulu and Netflix, and now they're starting to take it off because they want it on their channel, because now they have their own channel out. And Smithsonian Channel is now part of Paramount. So they're starting to charge now. So if you want to start watching that stuff.
Well, that was one of my beefs this year is I was into the TV show Undercover Billionaire, and the new season came out, and I think they put 3 episodes on Discovery, and then they moved all of them to Discovery Plus, and you had to get a subscription to watch them. And it was like, that frustrated me. All right. I'm like, you should create new series for your other channels, but no, you take an existing series and put off. They did that because it was the one series everybody would pay for to go watch. Yep. I still didn't pay for it.
Well, and that's what they did with Hulu too. I mean, they would take the first 4 or 5 seasons, mm-hmm. and a show had 10 seasons. They take the first 4 or 5, get you hooked, and then if you want to watch the other 5 seasons, you've got to go pay for it. Mm. And you're not going to see those other ones until later down the line when they've decided to release them.
Called marketing, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Marketing you to get you, and I hate it, but I love marketing when I make it.
Yeah. Just when I have to pay for something.
Well, no. This is a thought that I've actually thought about this week. Every time we come up, every time we come up with a solution, we create more problems. And
more questions.
Yeah, this is the whole idea with like everybody's going, well, you got to go to subscription models, and everybody's gone to a subscription model because everybody for years was like, go to something so you have residual income, monthly income coming in. Well, now everybody's going to that. So back when you knew that, okay, I had to make $100 a month. All right, so let me go out and make enough people coming in at $20 to make my $100 and cover my bills. Well, now the $100 is now $300 because everything went to payments.
Yep.
On a monthly basis. So now you've got to go make more. And basically now you've got to create more and sell more. So, and the more you create, the more they create. And it just keeps going up. I watched the movie Moneyball. I'm really into this right now, Moneyball, the movie. And this concept that they talked about in there about how they started watching numbers to build baseball teams. And it was great. I'm sure the first few years they did it.
Yep.
I'll bet you 20 years later, now everybody's doing it. And you got to come up with something new to beat the system.
Yep. Well, that's like multi-level marketing. Mm-hmm. Once it starts, look at send out cards, for instance. You never even heard of send out cards, and then they were everywhere. And so it just depends on you. It's a matter of getting in at the very beginning, getting started at the very beginning, seeing how that's starting to perpetuate. And now you get to see, okay, what's going to be the next thing? Let's get into that and start that early. We'll start that model early and make the money. And then when everybody else starts to come on board, we'll be way ahead doing something totally different.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest key when it comes to business is trying to see that future of what is that going to look like? This isn't working anymore and people are hopping on board now and I want to do something different. So what is that going to be? What's that next thing going to be that's going to make me money that now I'm going to start and then everybody else is going to come along with me?
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part is to see that future and that big picture, how you get out there, be the first one.
It's not just that. Truthfully, what this actually creates in our world, and this is the good thing it creates, is you always have to be thinking. Yeah. You always have to be doing. You always have to be creating. And I remember being marketed to about, multi-level marketing or network marketing, whatever you guys want to call it today, in the 1990s when I was a kid in my 20s. And they marketed to this like, well, yeah, you build it and then you never have to work again. And I'm like, that concept
doesn't work.
That concept made me have a lazy mindset because it basically was like, okay, well, if I just work real hard and I can build this, all right, then I will never have to work again. And that put my mindset into telling people, no, you don't have to work a job anymore. Basically, all you got to do is build this so that it builds regular income. No, once you get to the next level, there is work you have to do at that level to then maintain that level and then continue to the next level.
Yeah,
and that's true in any business. I have again, informational products, events. I'm always having to recreate my events. Just when I think I got it down to where the event comes, again, boom, problem evolves, and I've got to recreate it.
Yep. That's something you should be doing in business over and over again. I mean, and I don't care what anybody tells you, it's bullshit. There's no easy button. No. There's no easy thing that says, oh, just do this and life will be good and your business will be good. And it's bullshit. No. It is work. It takes work. And you work your butt off to get to one point. You get there and then you skate for a little while. Now you got to work your butt off to get to the next point and so on and so forth. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs have a hard time with that when it comes to what I got to do this now. And now I got to figure out, I just did this. I'm on skate now and I've got everything in place. I don't want to have to work as hard as I did. Yeah. But in order to get to that next step, you have to work harder to get to the next step and so on and so forth.
But Katrina, I've learned to build assets that start making me money.
Yes.
Like I own, my business I created before I started the coaching business was my real estate business. And real estate, all right, yes, it has the residual income. People pay me rent. However, every 3 to 4 years, I have a tenant go, hey, it's time to move on. Yeah. I don't only need a 1-bedroom condo anymore. I now need a 2-bedroom because I have a wife and daughter. Yeah. I had one guy stayed in one of my condos for 6.5 years. He came as a single guy. He moved out with a wife and two kids. And it was a 1-bedroom condo, but literally they had a hard time making it. And so they needed that 1 bed. That's all they can afford was that 1 bedroom. And then finally they found a deal as he got better work. He found a deal to get a house.
Yeah.
And, and he actually, I remember when he wrote me and said, I'm moving out. And I'm like, oh, and he says, but really, he said, I've got a family. I've got, a son and a daughter. I need a house. And I finally found a deal on a house that a friend of mine. I said, well, I'm sorry to see you go, but I'm happy for you that you finally found something you can afford.
Yeah.
And that was the good thing about it. But yeah, it comes with the fact that guess what? Every 3 to 4 years they move out. I've got to go in, spend about $2,500 in updating things.
Yeah.
All right.
The carpet, all the good stuff. Yeah.
So this past one, I actually redid his condo and new doors, new flooring, repaint. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I redid the bathroom. Like I tore half the bathroom walls out and redid again, retiled all that stuff. And I don't think I spent $2,500 doing it this time. The last time I redid that unit was 11 years ago. And when I did it then, I think I spent like almost $4,000 redoing it.
Yeah. It's expensive sometimes. I mean, but you've probably come a long way where you've learned ways to do things on your own and not have to have somebody come in and do it for you and vice versa and that type of thing. And you've also learned.
Well, believe it or not, almost on that unit, most of the things I did in that, like the floor, I put the floor down myself. That's the last floor I've ever done. My knees killed me for 2 months after.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. But like I'll go in and paint. I love painting. So I'll go in and paint it myself. All right. That part I don't mind doing at all. It's the, having to go in and try to match the drywall or match the texture or stuff like that. I hate. I can never match texture ever. Yeah. Ever. Yeah. I've tried it. Never. Can never match.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. When you first started in business,
which time?
Well, even dealing with computers, what was your first computer?
My first computer was something a friend of mine put together for me for like $400 in 1993. Didn't even have internet on it.
Yeah, what was the system on it? Was it a Windows system or DOS?
Windows 3.1.
Okay.
What was yours?
DOS. It was a DOS-based system.
Oh.
Windows were not even in existence.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was all Logic. DOS-based.
All Logic.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you learn DOS, Windows is a breeze. A breeze. It's all based on logic, which is what the computers are based on anyway. It's all logic. It's just sometimes our mind doesn't work that way.
I had Windows 3.1 on that one. It may have been DOS when I first got up and he converted it to 3.1.
Yeah.
And then I had it upgraded. I remember when it was upgraded, another friend of mine upgraded it so that I can actually use it on the internet. And I remember it was like a 28.8 modem.
Yeah.
Was my first modem on computer. And I ran in I had 2 body shops and a mobile car cleaning business in Pennsylvania. And all I used the computer for on them. I mean, I didn't have internet presence or anything. All I used the computer for was to keep my books.
Do you remember the dial-up?
Yeah, that's what my 28.8 yeah. Yeah.
And we get impatient now. Shit. Took forever for that stuff to come up.
I love Glenmore showers, things like that. Yeah. You stand in front of the microwave and go, come on, I don't have all minute.
Let's go. Yeah. Move along.
Yeah.
Computers have come a long way. Long way.
So, and then my first laptop was a Dell. Like a Dell. It wasn't Inspiron. It was before Inspiron was one of their lines.
Or Inspiron, it was a Latitude.
I think it was a Latitude, and it was used, and like the battery would not hold a charge.
Yeah,
like you had to plug it in to use it.
Yeah,
type deal. And so and I remember the first time I took it on a trip with me. It had I want to say it was Windows 2000 on it. All right,
Oh, Windows 2000 was a big hog when it came to batteries.
Yeah. And I remember, taking it on a plane with me for the first time, and they said, well, if you take it on a plane, you've got to be able to power it up. And I'm like, oh gosh, I can't power this thing up. And luckily they didn't. And I'm like, but anyway, I was all worried about that I wasn't gonna be able to power it up. But like I had that, and I remember like the second one I bought was something I got like off of eBay. It was another Dell. It might have been a newer version of it, a little bit bigger, and it only had like a 6 megabyte hard drive into it. It was like a tiny little hard drive, and I took it out and put a good hard drive into it, and then put a good, I think it was Windows XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do you remember Gateway?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had this big, huge monstrosity Gateway that I spent like $2,500 on, that had 1 gigabyte of space. 1 gigabyte, and I paid $2,500 for that. And now you can find a laptop for as little as like $500 or $600 that has 3. I mean, it's like what? It's not even it's gigabytes now. It's not megabytes. It's gigabytes, terabytes, and I read too that not the terabyte, but megabyte. No, I can't remember the name of it, but there's something else coming out now that's even going to be taking the place of terabyte.
Like I have this computer, I think that I'm on, it has a 1 or 2 terabyte hard drive, and my laptop has like a 2 terabyte hard drive. My laptop is more advanced than my desktop.
Yeah,
because I bought it newer. The desktop, this is an iMac. I basically took it apart and put a bigger hard drive into it and added RAM to it. And you take an iMac apart to do that, it is work, by the way.
I'm sure it is, because and the thing is Mac too. You have to get Mac. You can't get anything else to work with a Mac but Mac product, Mac parts and so forth. Nothing else will work with it.
Well, it's a Toshiba hard drive in it.
But I mean, for the most part,
yeah,
Apple has always been Apple products.
Yeah, it's an Apple operating system.
Yeah.
But I love the Apple operating system. It just works better for me. The problem is like my laptop has the newest, which is an Apple. It's called Big Sur. This one, this desktop won't put Big Sur onto it because it's something that I modified. I'm pretty sure if I took it up to the Apple store, they probably could modify it and do it. But
probably
I did it all during the pandemic. I upgraded it because I got sick of my DOs doing this all the time. Yeah,
and stuttering.
Yeah. So I upgraded it to have more RAM and everything, and it works great. Eventually, though, I realized that the next computer I buy, this one I bought off the shelf. I literally walked into the store in 2014 and said I need one. And they had one, and I bought what they had. My laptop I ordered. I literally went online and ordered it, and it's not the newest, but it's like the generation before of iMac or MacBook Pro. All right, and I basically ordered it when the new ones were out, but I went in and had it where I can still order it and customize it the way I want. And I paid an extra $1,000 or almost $1,500 for it than what you would normally go to the store and get, but. Yeah. That laptop will race horses, around the track compared to this.
Yeah. Well, I know there's also the debate that goes on between the Apple industry or the Apple. And
I like Apple, but it's what you want. I don't care. I'll joke about that, but I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you call and ask me to work on your PC, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I can do both because I worked on both.
Yeah.
And I remember I worked at Amgen, and they had all Apple, and they were going to decided to go to PC because it was cheaper because of the Windows interface in the office and so forth. And I remember the guy and I would argue all the time. Nope, Apple's better. Nope, PC's better. Nope, Apple's better. Nope, PC.
Well, do you remember a couple years ago? I forget which state, it might have been California, but one of the states, the United States, got rid of all Apple computers and went to PCs because Apple's like laptops, you can't remove the battery and discard it.
No.
All right. It's an integrated system. That's what I do like about Apple is their integrated systems. I don't have to, because I used to, when I had the Dell, I had, I had the computer and then I had 3 batteries that I carried with me. Yeah.
Well, and they've come a long way too. I mean, computers in general have come a long way at this point.
Yeah.
And
I don't think my wife has a Dell. And I don't think her Dell actually has the separating battery anymore. So
no, it's all a lot of it's integrated thanks to Apple because it's much cheaper and it's easier than, and plus they want you to buy. They want you to buy new systems. That's the whole thing is buy.
Yeah, but this is, to me, it's like it shows me that Apple has lasted me longer. I used to replace my Dell computers about every 3 years.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's my last Dell right there with my old logo onto it. I still have it because it's the only thing I have left with that logo on it. So I just prop it up there and leave it there. If I tried to power that thing up, I can't get on the internet, number one. All right. Number two, I can't get certain things off that and transfer them. Like I have pictures on that I can't get off.
You can't put it up in the cloud?
I can't get on the internet with it.
Got it.
That's the problem. And every time you put it onto a disk and then plug the disk into this,
doesn't work.
Not
compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I need to, you'd think I should be able to, put it all in JPEG format, put it onto a drive and then plug it in, but it does not work. Every time I've tried it, it doesn't work. But again, that computer there has got to be 11 years old. Well, yeah, 2000, I would have bought it in 2010 and I stopped using it in 2012.
Oh yeah, 11 years old.
Yeah. So, and literally I bought my first MacBook Pro I bought at the Apple store. It would have been July of 2012. And literally I walked into the store and got one off the shelf that day. And then I used that one for years until 2014. I bought this desktop. And then, when I started going on trips, that laptop was the old one. So it was heavy. It had, you can still put the CD-ROM into it, DV into it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very heavy. So
now they don't even have those in any of them
now. No. I actually have an external thing. I have an external down here. I
do too. Yeah. I do too, just in case.
But like I went to, when I got my new laptop, I bought it, upgraded version. All right. It weighs half as much. Because that was my biggest headache with it was I was always taking that on a plane, on a backpack, and it was killing my back. I have a MacBook Air that was my father-in-law's, but like that is really old, really old MacBook Air. I don't know. I like my desktop. Truthfully, I like my desktop because now I have 3 screens.
Oh my gosh.
I want to add more, but anyway, yeah.
Well, I know Robert was mentioning Alienware, and Alienware used to be on its. I think it's made a few different renditions, and I know Dell now owns Alienware too.
Yeah.
And those are heavy. Those are heavy-duty computers, man. They can do just about anything. Yeah. And they've got all of the colors along with it. It's one of my son's favorite. One day he says, "One of these days, I'm going to get myself the big Alienware," but they're expensive. They're not cheap.
No.
So that's another thing. What's your favorite computer?
Yeah.
Out there.
Are you a PC or are you a Mac?
PC or a Mac? It's like I'm a PC. I'm a Mac. I love those commercials. I miss those.
What? What operating system is PCs using now? If you're using
Windows.
Windows.
They're coming out. It's Windows 10, and they're now going to be coming out with Windows 11 soon.
Okay.
And it's made different progressions over the years. I mean, the one that didn't do so well was I think it was Windows XP.
Windows X. I thought it was Windows XP that when I worked in IT.
No, it was Windows XP that was good. It was something else that came out. And I'm trying to remember that didn't do Vista. It was Windows Vista.
Oh,
Windows Vista came out. Nobody liked it. It didn't work well. And then they came out with Windows XP.
Yeah, I think Vista is what's on that.
Yeah, Vista didn't do so well. Then they came out with Windows XP, and then because XP was such a good setup, they've just kind of kept a lot of those pieces, and then they just added. And then there's so now we're supposedly by the end of the year they're supposed to come out with Windows 11. And it's supposed to be another big shakeup in regards to Windows and how different it's going to look and the layout and so forth.
Yeah, but you have to. But here's the catch with Windows: you have to go buy that new version, correct?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Nope.
It's automatically updated.
Yep. Because I have because I have the Windows subscription for like the whole thing and for Office and so forth, which isn't that much.
Yeah.
I get all the updates with no problem.
So now I have the Office suite. Like I have PowerPoint and Word I use. I have the other ones in there, but I don't use them, like Outlook, and so I don't use those. I just use PowerPoint and Word. Is the whole reason I have them. And that I pay. That's a yearly subscription I pay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can pay monthly or you can pay yearly, depending on your budget.
I'm trying to do everything by year. All right. I just upgraded. I don't know if you heard of this new thing everybody's getting involved with, this Be Connected thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I looked into that, and I actually, one of the VPs is a friend of mine, and he actually reached out to me and talked to me, and he said, well, it was like Monday. He said, up until Saturday, they're doing this. Right. You can do this one-time payment, no monthly installments, but on Saturday it goes away. And I'm like, okay. I says, I'll tell you what, for me to try it, I'll do it. It's like $500 lifetime. And I'm like, that's the only way I'm going to do it, because that way I don't have to deal with a monthly payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like he said that, well, the other thing is part of that was you get this whole deal with, they call it something live or something like that, but it's Zoom operates it.
Yeah.
And it's unlimited. So basically I get the
I know
option.
exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah.
I get the enterprise or whatever version of it. And I click onto it, and the option is $12.99 a month or like $155 a year. Click $155 a year. Let me get rid of this for the whole year. Like I pay for my Kartra for the year. The only thing I have left on a monthly basis now is StreamYard and my website, web hosting.
Yeah, but the thing is though, you have to set it up in such a way that you know that's coming out on a yearly basis, because a lot of entrepreneurs don't realize, oh shit, that 400 is coming out this month because I paid for it last year and now I got to have. So that's why it depends on your budget and how you're doing things, and whether monthly is going to be better for you or yearly.
But now well, here's the thing is I have my total yearly budget for running all my stuff down. And this is something everybody's doing business. My yearly budget is down. I know exactly. Like it's like to run all my internet stuff is like $3,500 a year.
Yeah,
$3,500. So I basically every year get $3,500 put in an account to pay for everything. Once that's in there, it's in there. So when the stuff comes due, it comes out automatically, and I have it set up. But the other thing is I set my payments up to do that. So my payments are, some of my stuff comes out in May, in June, and July. And the other stuff comes out November, December, January. The reason being is my two biggest pays every year
are
is
those,
May and November for when I do my big events. So May and November are my biggest paydays. So I have the yearly fees coming out after I get that, not before it, after it.
Yeah. That's a good thing. And you set up I know with mine, what I do is I set up different accounts. I have one account where all of my automatic things come out of, and I know how much is coming out, just like with you. Yeah. And I set that up so I know that, and nothing else comes out but those bills. That's it. Yeah. Then my other account is for other incidentals and so forth, but that one, just bills.
Yeah, well, that's it. And actually, there was somebody years ago. All right, I knew a famous person who was trying to figure out something on their house, and they were like me. They always paid cash for their house, and they were trying to buy a new house and get a mortgage, and they couldn't. And they said, "Well, I've never had a mortgage." I said, "I can tell you how to solve that." And the guy's like, "You? I mean, this guy's a millionaire, right?" He's like, "You can tell me how to solve that?" I'm like, "Yeah." How? And I said to him, I'm going to share you something that's so stupid you're going to be like, type deal. And he goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah. If you go to the bank and take out a line of credit on your current home that you live in, and then take that money and put it into a bank account and have it make the payments for 1 year. I says, it's going to cost you money and interest for 1 year, but just do it." And he goes, "Why?" I says, "After 1 year, you go apply for a mortgage and watch.
You get it.
You'll get it." And he was like, a year later, he came back to me. He goes, "You just proved to me that I can learn something from you, from other people." And I'm like, I've been broke. I was broke my whole life. I had to figure out how to manage broke.
Yeah. Yeah. We can all learn something. And that's another thing that I think is very important for people to learn, Just because somebody's making minimum wage in that room or whatever the case may be, doesn't mean you can't learn something from them. Doesn't matter what stage in life they are at. Everybody can learn something. And if you're not learning, your eyes aren't open and your ears aren't open.
It's not about money. It's about every one of us. You know, you, I included, every one of us knows something that somebody else doesn't.
Yeah.
Every one of us knows something. And that's how you make money, is by helping those people who don't know you, don't know it. All right. And it is. Someone asked this morning, I mean, why'd you get in business? I said, well, because basically Zig Ziglar explained to me, Tim, you're helping all these people for free. Why not make it a business and get paid to do it? People will pay for this stuff that you do. I'm like, they will? Yeah. I mean, that was an eye opener to me. All right. I always thought, well, you know, information, who's going to pay for my information?
Yeah.
Advice. So anyway, we're at the top of the hour, by the way.
Wow. Look at all that stuff we covered today.
We covered a lot.
Don't forget. Hashtag nickname. We want to know what your nickname was as a kid. And hashtag favorite color so that we can tell you. And it's got to be the basic colors: black, white, red, purple, pink, orange, blue, green, yellow, gray, or brown. Can't be this like sapphire or periwinkle blue, or it just has to be the basic ones.
Yeah.
And then we want to know, and then we'll tell you what each of those colors mean in our next show.
On next week's broadcast. Yep.
Yep. But we got to know. So let us know, and let us know the funniest nicknames, and we'll pick the funkiest nickname.
Yeah. So for now, we're actually telling you, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right. Eventually, we're going to create our own YouTube channel, and we will have this out on a podcast real soon. All right. Once we get to 6 episodes, we will upload this and put it into a podcast. All right. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to where you get. All right. You know, follow Katrina's on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. Follow us both on YouTube so you can get all this information, because it'll be on both channels. I've got your website up right now. Tell them.
Thank you. KGWebsiteDesigns.com.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Mine, TimGillette.com. Yeah.
And that's Gillette, just like the Gillette shaver.
My daddy thought I was a sharp kid.
Yuck. I'm here all night. Hey, waiters and waitresses.
So, anything else?
We're good. Good to go. Hey, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and make it the best.
And you know what? And next week, we're actually going to show you a clip of the two of us actually in the same room.
Yes.
Well, I think we're going to put it on video. We're going to put it on video and just play it for you guys. Let you know that we were actually We're actually in the.
Woohoo!
My internet is killing me, and I don't know why. So I've got to go, girl.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.